there are a lot of things to talk about from that scene, but when I rewatched it recently, what I picked up particularly, apart from the amazing performances, and I think that De Niro's presence is just so, it's just so palpable, he's so extraordinary. But it's just this idea that you become your job. And I wondered, as a film director, how does the job of being a film director affect you in your life? I mean, maybe to explain further in terms of the question, I mean, I find that I think I catastrophize a lot. I dramatize things, and I try and control other people's conversations, and I just wonder what. Maybe it's just
That's about right. Yes. Yeah. I've been told I've been overly dramatic in my life. You know, catastrophize. You're absolutely right, because most things are a catastrophe, and all you could do is write it out. You know, I feel like Wizard here. You know, he doesn't give them really any advice. It's the advice is to hang in and ride out the storm, because it's a storm. You know, it's beautiful. There's beauty in it, but it's a storm, and that's why I haven't seen this scene, I think, maybe in 40 years. Yeah, and I'm interested. I remember now, frame by frame in the editing, making sure that there was enough of silences in it, and De Niro's his hesitation when he finally does say something. The line I remembered best was, you know, I got some bad ideas in my head, and he has that smile when he says it, because he's embarrassed by it, and he's horrified at his own thoughts, and tragically it comes to play at the end of the story. But in any event, we played in the editing on that of primarily elongating that performance, really. The hesitation. And all those hesitations ultimately building up to the violence in the picture, you know. This was, we cut this in 75, the film was released in 76. But again, shooting so quickly at that time, designed the shot, there's a storyboard for it. It's outside the Belmore cafeteria. The Belmore cafeteria was a famous all-night cafeteria for cab drivers. Cab drivers frequented it. And so it's closed now, but we made sure that Michael Chapman and I had the Belmore reflection behind them, that the cab is in a certain way there in the right of the frame. And then when De Niro shot, he's single. And what I decided throughout the movie as best as possible was to isolate him, so that when we talk about what a shot means, whenever we shoot De Niro's character in the film, he's single in the frame. And when you're on other people, he's usually in their frame. And so it kind of is off-putting in a way. He's never part of them. And so you see a little of that here, you know. But becoming what you are, I mean, you know, can you direct your life? I don't see how you can.
You try, maybe.
Yeah.
When we were talking about this the other day, you mentioned Basil Fawlty. And for anyone who doesn't know who Basil Fawlty is, he was a 70s sitcom called Fawlty Town. But I wonder what you have in common with Basil Fawlty, because it's very hard to see.
Of every little thing that bothered him. Every petty thing. Stuff that you shouldn't let, you know, stuff that you should meditate and transcend. No, if you actually start, you know, if you actually say, well, you know, the floor is this way and that's, and so he gets annoyed at it, he lets everything get him. And the best thing to do is to, Basil Fawlty, the best thing to do is to just jump into it, accept it, and just complain about everything. Complain about everything, about the weather, about the people, about this, about that, until finally the absurdity of it makes itself clear, and you start to laugh. There's a famous scene, I think, in Fawlty Towers where he has this silly car. I forget what it is. It's a small car, a little red car.
Mini, maybe.
A Mini Cooper, I think it is. And at one point, the car always keeps breaking down. And at one point, he's in the middle of the field or forest or whatever, and he's frantic because he's in trouble. He's got to get someplace, and the car breaks down. He gets out and he says to the car, "Okay, that's it." And he takes a twig and starts hitting the car, which I thought was, of course.